Hi, it's Gab, and I have a special guest with me today, my good friend Jackie, who came with me to see Admission, the new, I'd say, dramedy, if you want to put a label on it, starring Tina Fey and Paul Rudd. We are both big fans of Tina Fey and Paul Rudd, so that was appropriate. And why don't you tell us what the movie was about, or tell them?
Well, the movie is a delightful dramedy, as you say, where Tina Fey portrays a university admissions officer, or college in the States. And she works for Princeton, which is one of the big top 10 schools, Ivy League, everyone wants to get in. And it's her job to go through admissions from students and decide who gets to go to the school. Well, she encounters Paul Rudd, who is a teacher or a principal. I'm not sure exactly what his title was.
He just runs the thing, yeah.
Yeah, he runs this sort of alternative high school that's located out in the bush. And when we talk alternative, they're milking cows, they're building water systems.
Yeah, it's very crunchy, and they've got special kids there. Not like special as in smart and different.
Yeah, they're different. There might be kids that, perhaps might fall through the cracks in your more traditional school. So they're doing sort of, trades and things with their hands, as well as, geography and math and that kind of thing. So she meets Paul, and Paul's main goal is to introduce one particular high school student to Tina. And his reason behind that, he believes that this young boy is actually Tina's long-lost son that she gave up when she was in university. So the story goes, they meet and we find out what happens, and all these other characters come into the mix. It's actually quite multi-layered. There's lots of storylines going on, and that's kind of it without giving too much away.
Yeah, no, the central conceit is that her son, and he wants to get into Princeton, so she's like trying to get him in. So it's about her work life and obviously about her personal life. Like, she's confronted with possible motherhood out of the blue. There's obviously, of course, going to be some relationship blossoming with Paul Rudd, because, hey, it's Paul Rudd. I mean, you can't resist Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Who could ever resist Paul Rudd? And, what's going on with her work, even her mother, a lot of maternal, parental relationship issues between, Faye and Rudd and the children they're dealing with, but also with their parents. So, as you say, very multi-layered. And that's what makes it a dramedy. It's not an out-and-out comedy like the pratfalls and guffaws, because it's about these characters' lives in a fairly realistic way, and that's where the drama comes in. Yeah. And I like that. I really like movies that have a sort of a combination of tones, if you will, that aren't just sort of black and white. But we were laughing quite a bit. I think I heard you. I was laughing.
I was laughing. Yeah. I was totally engrossed in it. It's not your Bridesmaids type humor, where people are throwing up in sinks or going to the bathroom in the road or whatever.
There was the birth of a cow, but you didn't see it. You just heard it. It was kind of gross.
Yeah, you kind of heard it. So that was kind of the grossest thing. But there's all sorts of things going on. It is very funny.
But more of a subtle and more of a sophisticated humor. But yeah, the heart's definitely, and that's what I refer to, like the more adult storylines, layers that are going on, and you care, like you become invested in the characters. They're not one-dimensional characters, and with the different things going on, you become invested, and it's not predictable either, which is partly why you get invested, because you're like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, the whole time I was watching it, you're so used to seeing sort of these comedy type movies, and you can figure out what's going to happen. But with this one, I didn't have that. I jumped to a conclusion and it wasn't fulfilled. It didn't happen.
Yeah, me too. At one point I was going to lean over to you and say, blah, 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 like I know this is going to happen. And then it didn't end up happening, and so I was glad I didn't do that, because I would have looked like an ass. I think some of the story points are maybe not the strongest or handled in quite the best way, but that added to its unpredictability, so I'm okay with that. It's based on a book. If you've read the book, apparently it's quite different. It goes in different directions than the story of the novel does. So, maybe the novel's better in the sense, I don't know, but I was still quite engaged with the story, and it really comes down to the characters. I mean, we really like Faye and Rudd, so we're a bit biased. They don't do anything too special with their characters, but they're just likable. Like, it's okay. I like them like that.
I like them too, and sometimes it's kind of nice to know what you're going to get. You don't always have to be, have your socks blown off, or it's
have a Daniel Day-Lewis, with an accent.
No, you kind of know what you're going to get, and if you like these actors, this movie would be very entertaining for you, because I know I enjoyed it, and I didn't look at my watch once. I was fully invested. All the supporting characters, we were talking this after, how you know, Lily Tomlin plays Tina Fey's mom, which was a surprise for me.
Yeah.
And
I want to see more of that. Like, I want a sequel where it's just about her and her mom or something like that, because that was really interesting. Maybe because I'm a mom, I really was sort of touched by the different sort of, and they were handled with a pretty light touch. It could have been a lot more sort of cheesy, or where they just, the whole motherhood issues, the complexities, or parenthood issues, because Paul Rudd has struggles with some of the issues. He has an adopted son in the film. And I really appreciated how it treated parenthood as sort of mysterious and complicated, but fulfilling and touching as well. But yeah, that's just a layer. It's not about that. Like, I don't want to scare people off like it's about parenthood.
No, there was so much about that. There was the parenthood theme, but there was also the, you know, workplace theme. Because Tina, her job plays an important role in this movie.
That's a really good point.
There is a lot of time spent at the university, and you see the dynamics with her coworkers and her boss, you know, and
so
the
any working woman can relate to that.
Yeah, any working woman can relate to that.
And questioning your calling, or what you put so much of your life and energy into, which applies to parenthood as well, and career. It's like, is this really what I, you know, should be doing? And that's a theme that goes back to the kids applying to university.
That's true.
Like, are you being yourself? Are you being true to yourself? You're just doing what your parents and society expect you to do? And, you know, what are you going to do with your life? And maybe changing course from what you expected. Etc., etc. So there's actually like really interesting things going on here in a really nicely delivered package. Same director is About a Boy, so if you like that sort of film, it is. I think you could sort of put those in a category of feel good, dramedy,
without being movie of the week either. It doesn't stray really into, you know, movie of the week territory, which it could have done really easily.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't.
Exactly, that's a good point. So yeah, entertaining. How many jumps would you give it?
I'm going to give it... I was going to give it 4, but I think I'll give it 3 3/4.
That's allowed.
Just to mix it up a bit.
That's definitely allowed, because that's what I'm going to give it to. So I have to allow you to do that. Yeah, because as you can tell, we don't really have anything negative really to say about it. But also what I would say is that I don't think it's one for the books for me. It's not one that I'm dying to see again, or that I would say you have to run out and pay $12 to see. It was nice, but it wasn't a classic for all time.
No.
So I think 3 3/4 is fair. But if you like those things that we mentioned, and specifically the stars, I think that you would appreciate this film. I really appreciate you joining me.
I appreciate being invited to come along. Thank you.
As you should, and we appreciate you watching. Will you come again?
Absolutely.
Thanks. You guys too. Watch again. Thank you.